Hi, I'm Mike McCormick at the GBTA broadcast studio. I'm pleased to welcome today Tobias Ragge of HRS. Tobias, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Mike, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, so you're in a unique position to kind of look at the hotel landscape, the marketplace, what's happening. So first off, let's talk about consolidation. There's been a lot of consolidation, certainly at the top with Marriott and Starwood, and then more happening and maybe more to come. What does that do for you, for the business? How does that affect the hotel landscape?
Well, consolidation, first of all, I think is happening within the chain segment, which make a quarter of the total hotel supply.
Right.
But there is a massive wave of consolidation happening. You mentioned Marriott and Starwood, but we also see it in China, heavily driving Jinjiang Panteo. We see HNA buying stakes in Carlson, NH, having now taken a 25% share in Hilton. So obviously, there's a huge wave of consolidation. It's happening because the industry has too less of margins.
Right.
Number one. So what does it mean for the corporations? It means that at some point, the consolidation and a more concentrated balance of power, if you want, will have an influence on the ADR developments of the industry.
Right.
So corporations not being able to basically tap into the full potential of the markets will definitely see a cost increase out of this. Now, what is the opportunity there? Because, change is also an opportunity.
Right.
Because number one, I foresee when big groups are getting bigger, everybody needs to start moving.
Right.
So what you will see is that regional, local players, and especially independent hotels, will become more of an opportunity for the corporate world to offer. Because at the end, corporations will still have to deal with cost savings and pressure from the CFO departments. So my personal prediction is ADR in these consolidated entities will go up, but there's an opportunity to tap in. And you asked the question, what does it mean for us? It means for us the opportunity to make access to the corporate community, the entire global hotel supply.
Right.
Because in the past, when you look at the industry, which has been dominated by the TMC on the backbone of the GDS environment, it was very much concentrated of chains. And our job is to make available the entire global hotel supply, which covers 75% of properties which usually are not part of the equation and are offering opportunities. So you could see it as a change and a threat potentially, but I rather look at this as an opportunity for dynamic growth.
Well, it certainly could be for you and your business, particularly like you said, if the key to having competitive rates, competitive inventory is the rest of the marketplace, right, to your point. And those very hotel companies, if I'm hearing you, are really going to have to be more competitive to compete with the global distribution that a major chain brings as they get bigger and bigger, and to summarize, right? Any particular, I'd say, kind of tips or strategies for a hotel buyer in this space that they need to be thinking about?
Well, first of all, when you think about it, it's a very fragmented industry.
Right.
And I think the question corporations have to ask themselves, are we more strategic or more operational in managing corporate travel?
Right.
With the growth of the complexity, globalization, digitalization, and new segments like sharing economy coming to the table, I think it's all about outsourcing and managing travel from a strategic perspective.
Right.
So what we foresee and see more and more, when you look at research we did actually with GBTA Foundation 2 years ago, we found out that only 15% of all corporate buyers were outsourcing the procurement piece of hotel accommodation.
Yep.
Nowadays, that's already 30%. And I
growing.
foresee this to reach 75 to 80% in the next 2 to 3 years. Because it's, the process costs are lower, you have somebody taking care of the hassle, dealing with a very fragmented marketplace on a global scale, and also having superior data transparency. And this way, I think you will be able to see massive savings, but a necessity is the outsourcing piece and being more a strategic guidance giver and somebody who deals more on a strategic level.
Yep. Terrific insight in the industry. Tobias, thanks for stopping by.
Sure. Thank you,
and
Mike.
Appreciate your partnership here at GBTA.
Thank you very much for your
Take
interview.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.